this is Times Square. What's up, Wolfpack? This is Dustin Williams coming at you from Wolfbane's other home. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about one of the questions I get asked quite often from people who are visiting New York or even people who live here, and that is, how in the world do you afford to see shows on Broadway? Because the average ticket now is between $150 and $250 for a Broadway show. So I try to use every trick in the book I can to get cheaper tickets, and I'm going to show you the ways I've learned over the years. Let's start shopping, shall we? One of the easiest ways to get cheaper tickets for Broadway shows is right here in the middle of Times Square, across from our classy little restaurant right here, the Olive Garden. We have our TKTS booth. Now this booth is, it'll have two separate lines, one for plays only, and then a bunch for musicals. And all you have to do is come here, and there's a nice little marquee, and people are here to help you, and they'll show you what shows are playing and how much they have off for them. So sometimes you can get tickets for 50, 60 bucks here. A ticket which will give you about half off the normal cost of a Broadway ticket. So it ends up being, you know, pretty helpful, and can get you in to see a show for a lot less than you would have paid. But there's some other ways, so let's find those out too. But that's TKTS, check it out. So a lot of times you can get tickets by my favorite way, and that is just walking the streets. If you have some time to kill, just go in, theater to theater. You can walk in and find out if they have any kind of rush policies. A lot of times they'll have a student rush where you can give your student ID and get like $30, $20 tickets sometimes. And then a lot of times they'll just have a general rush. So you can go up to there and ask them if they have any rush tickets available. And a lot of times right before the show, they'll still have rush tickets depending on the show. Some of the other shows you have to be there in line like, you know, 2 hours before it opens if it's really popular. But that's rushing, and just walk in and ask, see what's going on. They'll hook you up if they have anything. And then we come to lottoing. Lottoing can be tricky, but you have to be there and find out on the website for the theater. They'll tell you if they have a lotto, and they'll tell you how many hours before the show you have to get there. Now, if you put your name in a lotto, say for instance I was going to lotto for Book of Mormon tonight, I would have to be there at 5 o'clock for the 8 o'clock show, put my name in, and then see if it's drawn. And a lot of those lottos are really fun. They get people that are charismatic to draw them. So they're fun anyway, and it's like a thrill to see if you win. But you can get tickets for $30, $40 for that. And then a lot of times they'll tell you afterwards, if the lotto, you didn't get it, they'll tell you if there are standing room or discounted seats after that. So it's a good way to find out. But you have to be there, day of show kind of basis. Then that brings us to standing room. Now, standing room may not sound like the most awesome choice in the world, and for some people it's not, but it's really not that bad. A lot of times they'll give you something to lean on, and most standing room only is available when the show is sold out. So for popular shows like Book of Mormon, I saw Book of Mormon standing twice now, I think, and I saw, we saw Fun Home standing. They'll have just a little area around the back of the audience. You know, it's kind of fun because you can pay $20 for standing room, and you're standing behind people, you know, 6 inches behind someone who just paid $250 for their seats. So, you know, it's a good way to see stuff if you don't mind standing. And if you really want to see the show, it's a good way to see it pretty quickly, especially when it's still popular. And then another new thing that's come along in the past year or so, I guess, is a new app called Today Ticks. There's a few apps like this, but Today Ticks is probably my favorite one. You can sign on there, and they'll let you lotto on the day of, and you'll see people posting on Facebook that they lottoed for a show with Today Ticks, because if you lotto, you get an extra chance. If you put it on your Facebook that you lottoed, you get an extra chance to win the tickets that you're after. So that's a great way. They also have just like random deals you can look at. So like, they'll tell you maybe tomorrow you can see something rotten for, you know, $45 or something. So it's really cool. That's Today Ticks. Get that app. A lot of the information that I'm throwing at you today can actually be found online at playbill.com at their website. They'll have a whole list of what theater is doing standing room, lotto, different stuff like that, rush policies, and they'll have a list of Broadway and off-Broadway shows, so you can check that out. You can also find, like I said, the Today Ticks app, and TKTS has info online, so check all that out. Thank you all so much for watching, and we want to remind you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and of course the best way to see the highest quality of art for the lowest possible cost is to come check out a Wolfbane show down in Virginia. Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed. Happy Wolfbane Wednesday. Ow!